This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Trudeau here. It's Wednesday. 2 more days I'm in court. It's Wednesday. Got a great show. The government has been trying to censor me for decades because I'm exposing things they don't want you to know about, and I have refused to break down. I refuse to stop, and it cost me 8.5 years in a federal prison, being held for contempt of court, not a crime. I was put in a federal penitentiary for 8.5 years, charged with contempt of court, which is not a felony, not a misdemeanor. The Latin, I think, is called sui juriditis, and I could be pronouncing it wrong, but it means a thing of its own. I was held because I was, in my opinion, in my belief, exercising my First Amendment constitutional rights of free speech. The government disagreed, of course. But I'm revealing things that they don't want you to know. And that's why they've been trying to silence me. If you know this stuff, your life's going to be better. I don't need to do this. I know this. Today's show is going to be fantastic. Phenomenal show. There are things that the nutritional industry, the vitamin and mineral and nutritional supplement industry are doing that's causing you harm. If you're taking nutritional supplements right now, vitamins, minerals, nutritional supplements, protein powders, meal replacement shakes, meal replacement food bars, protein bars, you don't know that you're being scammed. And I have a new book coming out next year. The government doesn't want me to publish it, called The Vitamin Scam, and another book called The Organic Scam. That's in the process, and I am publishing it even though the government doesn't want me to. But we're going to win. We're going to be able to express opinions and ideas and exercise First Amendment constitutional rights of free speech. And I'm going to educate you on the things that the government and the multinational corporations and the big companies that run all these nutritional things and organics, they don't want you to know. I'm going to blow your mind. I did an episode here on the Kevin Trudeau Show a few months ago that very few of you watched, and you need to watch it. And I'm doing this is the third time in a row here I'm doing it. I'm showing you a previous show because I want you to be encouraged and motivated to go back and watch many of the old Kevin Trudeau shows and share them with as many people as you can. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and share it. That's critical to get the numbers up for this show. So you're going to love this episode, and you're going to love it going, how many other episodes haven't I watched before? And go back and watch all those previous episodes. This is the episode on the vitamin scam, what the nutritional industry doesn't want you to know about, and how you are being ripped off and lied to. You're going to love this, and you're going to feel better and more empowered by the end of the show. I guarantee it. Take a look at this. Today, I am the Natural Cures natural health expert. We're going to talk about a very important subject you're not hearing about anywhere, and that is nutritional supplements are actually bad for you. If you're taking nutritional supplements, if you're taking vitamins or herbs or minerals or any type of nutritional supplement, any type of food supplement, you're being ripped off. You're being lied to, and you're being scammed. Now, if somebody says, wait a minute, wait. Yeah, I am the guy. I am this guy. Natural cures that they don't want you to know about. This book was #1 in the New York Times best-selling list 26 weeks in a row. It's estimated it sold almost 50 million copies. It's the #1 best-selling nutritional health book of all time. I am the natural cures expert. I am probably one of the world's foremost authorities on natural healing and health and natural health and how to stay young and how to cure and prevent disease without drugs and surgery, how to live tons of vitality and energy, because I wrote this book. And I also have the second book, More Natural Cures Revealed, This is the previously censored brand name product Secure Disease. This is a spectacular book. This was the follow-up. And if you haven't read these books, I do encourage you to read the books. The government actually took these books over because they revealed things about the pharmaceutical companies. They revealed information that they don't want you to know about, because at the end of the day, drug companies don't want to cure and prevent disease. They just want to sell more drugs. Drug companies, pharmaceuticals, hospitals, they're all publicly traded corporations, which means the board of directors and the officers have a fiduciary legal responsibility to increase shareholder value. They're legally obliged to increase the profits of these companies. And the only way to do that is to get you to take more drugs every day for the rest of your life. They just want you to take more drugs. They want you to take more drugs. They want you to take more pharmaceuticals. They want you to believe that the only way for you to be healthy is to take more and more drugs. It's insane and it's out of control. America is one of the only countries in the world, I think one other country, that even allows advertising for pharmaceutical prescription drugs, which are prescribed by doctors. But the drug companies are getting you to walk into your doctor and demand drugs because you've been brainwashed by the advertising. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to be healthy, I'm going to give you the answer. And it isn't nutritional supplements, vitamins, minerals, herbs, whatever you're taking, you're being lied to. It's a big scam. Nutritional supplements are a scam. Oh boy. I used to have some friends in the natural health industry. I'm not going to have any friends there now because I'm revealing what they don't want you to know about, just like I revealed about what the drug companies don't want you to know about. So let me explain how this works. The majority of vitamins and minerals and nutritional supplements that are sold are actually sold by companies that are owned or controlled by the pharmaceutical industry, by the drug companies. They've taken them over in the last 30, 40, 50 years. Think about that. Next, the people that own these companies, and there are exceptions, clearly there are exceptions, but the biggest nutritional company in the world, do you even guess what it is? The number one seller of vitamins, minerals, and nutritional supplements, the company that sells the most supplements around the world, you know what company that is? It's not GNC, General Nutrition Corp, or whatever it's called. Think about it. The company's called Nutrilite. It's Amway Corporation. Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, the founders of Amway, used to be distributors back in the 30s and 40s for a nutritional company called Nutrilite. Nutrilite was one of the first whole food nutritional companies, actually grew certain barley and different greens, acerola cherry and things, actually owned the farms, grew it, concentrated it, and put it into supplements. And they added some other things as well. And it was a supplement called Double X. That was their premier daily multivitamin nutritional supplement, which was primarily a whole food supplement. And Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel were distributors in that company. It was a multi-level marketing company, one of the first ever in the world. They left that company and they started in 1959 a company called Amway Corporation, which originally was the American Way Corporation. Then they shortened it to a company called Amway. And they started selling soap, liquid organic cleaner, or LOC, via multi-level marketing. Years and years later, I think it was 10, 15 years later, Amway got so big, it dwarfed the Nutrilite company, which was still in business, and then Amway bought Nutrilite. Nutrilite today, via the distributors, it's the number one selling nutritional supplement in the world. But think about it. Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, when they started Amway, were not nutritional fanatics. They weren't health nuts. They didn't want to create the best nutritional product in the world. They were fanatics about business. They were business fanatics. They wanted to make money and build an enterprise. They were free enterprise fanatics, entrepreneurial fanatics, and there's nothing wrong with that. But their business is about making money, not producing the best nutritional supplement in the world. Their focus is on business and profits, not the product. Now think about that. So when you look at the nutritional companies out there that are selling nutritional supplements, and you look and say, who owns the company? Who started the company? Who's on the board of directors? And then you look at their health, that they're fat and disgusting, and they don't even take their own products. They don't even take the supplements that they're selling. They're lying to you. They're not interested in producing the best nutritional supplement in the world. They're not interested in your health. All they're interested in is convincing you that you need to buy this product and take their product every day for the rest of your life, the same way that the drug companies are trying to get you to take their drugs for the rest of your life. It's the same type of people. The same type of people that own nutritional companies are the same type of people that run and manage and own the pharmaceutical companies. They're interested only in making a profit. And I know this because I've been in the factories. I've talked to these owners. I've been there as the author of Natural Cures and More Natural Cures Revealed, the best-selling health books of all time. And I've been there, and they say, yeah, Kevin, people are interested in vitamin C. That's what our market research says. They want vitamin C in their supplements. So they're looking for a certain percentage, a certain milligram count of vitamin C. Our research shows that people are convinced that they have to have a certain amount of vitamin C. So we have to make sure, from a marketing standpoint, that we have vitamin C listed on the label and a certain milligram count. Oh, that's okay. And what do you use for vitamin C? Kevin, we use the cheapest crap you can find, ascorbic acid. We buy it from China. It's so cheap, it's like buying dirt. I go, why don't you use like a natural whole food compound with vitamin C, like acerola cherry or camu or rose hips, or something that's a natural food that you can concentrate that is very high in vitamin C. That's too expensive and it won't increase sales. Kevin, that will reduce profits. So let me explain this. I'll just give you this one example. Vitamin C is not ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. It was never vitamin C. The nutritional industry paid millions and millions of dollars to lobbyists. The lobbyists then went to Congress and said, we want you to pass a law allowing us, the nutritional companies, to put ascorbic acid in a product and call it vitamin C. Because of bribes and payoffs, they're going to do a whole nother segment on, of how this actually works through the PACs that are sent up, political action committees, how the money is funneled to the politicians via the lobbyists and the political action committees to get them to do whatever they want. Another story, another segment, another show. They've got vitamin C listed as ascorbic acid, and it's not. I'll give you an example. Back in the day, there was a disease called scurvy, and scurvy was primarily, it was prevalent with sailors. And if you remember, some of you don't, but the British were called limeys. And the reason that term came about was the British knew that their sailors, Britain was a seafaring nation, a lot of sailors, a lot of ships. And when you're out on the water, you don't have good food because you're on this ship. You know, you have food that has to last a while. And invariably, the sailors came down with scurvy, which is a vitamin C deficiency. And so the British said if we put limes, and in that period of time, the word lime really meant citrus. So it could have been a lime or lemon, a grapefruit, an orange, a tangerine, any type of citrus, which we know has a lot of vitamin C in it. If they ate that, they didn't come down with scurvy. Today, if you take somebody with scurvy and you give them some oranges or lemons or limes or tangerines or grapefruit, it cures them of scurvy. But if you give them ascorbic acid, which is allegedly vitamin C, it doesn't cure them of scurvy. Does this make sense? Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. In nature, vitamin C always is attached to bioflavonoids, plus a bunch of other cofactors. So what happens is nutritional companies are lying to you and scamming you. And if you have nutritional supplements, just go into your cabinet, pull all the bottles out. And if it says vitamin C and then next to it in parentheses, ascorbic acid, you know that that company is full of crap. They're lying to you and they're scamming you. And all they want to do is make money off you. You can't trust that company anymore, any of their products. So that's number one. These companies are putting crap ingredients. They spend research on the label. They spent research on what you will buy. They spend research money on what terms will motivate you to buy their product. They're not putting research into the ingredients and the product. They're not buying the best product, the best ingredients to put in the product. They're buying the cheapest crap from China. And any country in the world that has crap with no regulations, so nobody even knows how poor the quality is. That's what's in your food supplements. The majority of ingredients in your supplements come from China and other third world nations where they have no regulation. And when I've been over there, it is disgusting. The feces that are in the ingredient packs, the maggots that are in the vats where they're sending it over to America, and they put bleach all over it to kill the maggots, and then or the cockroaches, all the rat droppings that are in there, and they clean and they sift it, and they irradiate it to try to kill germs so you don't die, and then they ship it to America, to American Nutritional Company. And then they put it in your vitamin, your nutritional supplement, your herbal formula, and you think, ooh, this is a good product. It's crap. It's garbage. You're being lied to. You're being misled. You're being scammed. Nutritional supplements overwhelmingly are a scam. There are exceptions. I'm going to talk about that. So I'm going to tell you what you can do and what the best thing to do. I'm going to tell you what I do. So number one, if you see ascorbic acid on any of the labels, vitamin C, ascorbic acid, throw it away, never buy anything from that company ever again, and you just know that they're only interested in profits, not producing the best product, because they know that the ascorbic acid doesn't do anything. But they're putting it in and lying to you. So you think you're getting vitamin C and you're not getting anything. Number two. In the industry, it's called fillers or excipients. These are the ingredients put in to help the product last longer, look pretty so you'll buy it, and also help in the manufacturing of the product so they can manufacture as much of the product as fast as possible to keep the prices down. So let's talk about the excipients. If there is any dyes in your product, look at your one-a-day in Centrum, they're the worst. It has red dye number blank, blue dye this. If there's any dyes in the product, throw it away and never buy anything from that company ever again. Next. I said this when I wrote the book Natural Cures. Many companies put talcum powder, talc, in the product. We now know it causes cancer. Well, they knew about it then, but they put it in. So you're not going to see talc anymore. But if you go back to your company, your product, and look at their label 20 years ago, it had talc in it. They put stearic acid and magnesium stearate. If you see stearic acid or magnesium stearate, throw it away. These are deadly poisons and toxins. How do I know this? Real simple. Just take a big spoon of stearic acid, see what happens to you. Take a big spoon of magnesium stearate. and see what happens to you. It's toxic. Now, it's put in for a reason, and I'll tell you why in a moment. When I talk about this to the manufacturers, they say, Kevin, it's not toxic in the minute amounts that we put in the supplement. It's in such small amounts, it's not toxic. It's in minute amounts. Okay, I can kind of buy that. I go, would you like some water? Oh, sure, I'll have some water, Kevin. Oh, by the way, I put a little bit of my piss and my feces in the water. But don't worry, I put a very minute amount. Ah! Think about that. A minute amount of poison? A minute amount of cyanide? But don't worry, in minute amounts, it's not toxic. The problem is you're taking more than one supplement, so all the minute amounts are added together. This is causing you all types of problems. Plus, these poisons stay in the fatty tissue and there's a cumulative negative effect. Over time, it gets worse and worse and worse and affects you in a negative way. It's actually harmful to you. It's hurting your health. The more supplements you take, the longer you take them with magnesium stearate and stearic acid in there. So if you see anything in your cabinet that has stearic acid or magnesium stearate, throw it away. Next, look at your supplements. Supplements come primarily in two forms. They either come in a pill or they come in a capsule. Some of them are liquid. I'll talk about that in a minute. In order to make a pill, the ingredients have to be put into a machine, a pill machine, and massive amount of heat and pressure has to squeeze them together so that the pill stays together. The problem is it's exposed to the air, it's going to get rancid, it's going to lose its nutritional value because of oxidation, and it's going to start crumbling. So what they do is they put binders in the ingredients. So they take these chemical binders and they put it in, it's like glue. It's toxic, but it's in minute amounts. So they put this glue in there, now they squeeze it together, and now the capsule or the pill will hold its shape. But now it's still exposed to the air. So they have to cover it with something. You know what the number one ingredient is used to cover pills? You're not going to believe this, but it's absolutely true. Shellac. You know the shellac you put, if you're a painter, you put on wood? The poison shellac? Hey, drink some shellac, see what happens. But don't worry, in your vitamin, it's in very minute amounts. Shellac. Some of them put even worse chemicals on it, like a 1-a-day or whatever. You take a 1-a-day or a Centrum or some of these things, drop it in a glass of water, come back the next day and see what happens. It doesn't dissolve. Well, if it doesn't dissolve, what good is it? There was an example of a family of 4 that were taking vitamins, pills. They had a septic tank. When they decided to move from the septic tank to their plumbing that goes out into the street, the septic tank was open, and guess what was in there? Thousands of undigested vitamin pills. They took it, and it went right out the other side. Waste of money. They virtually were flushing money right down the toilet, not getting any benefits from the ingredients that were in there because of the way it's made. So if your supplement is in a pill form, throw it away. And never buy anything from that company ever again. Pills are no good. Which leads us to capsules. Number 1, what kind of capsule are they using? It looks like plastic. Many of the capsules are deadly plastics. It's a plastic capsule. And you're putting this plastic in your body. Here, take a piece of your plastic water bottle and then eat it. That healthy for you? Of course not. Many of the capsules are plastic. So if you look on your ingredient list, look and see what it says. It should say cellulose capsule. This is a natural ingredient, and if it's organic cellulose capsule, now you know you have no toxicity in it. That's what it should be. And if it doesn't say cellulose capsule or organic cellulose capsule, throw it away. Don't buy anything from that company ever again, because all they want to do is increase their profits. Because the organic cellulose capsule costs more than the crappy toxic ones. And so most people don't know it's not going to affect sales. The manufacturers use the cheapest thing they can. You're being ripped off, lied to, and scammed. And if you met the owners of these companies, you would throw up. You'd be disgusted. You'd say, these are evil people. All they want to do is make money. And it's true. It's absolutely true. Now, you have a capsule, and now you have ingredients. So let's talk about the ingredients. The ingredients in a nutritional supplement should be only ground up dehydrated food. That's the only ingredient that should be in there. Broccoli, carrots, acerola cherry, camu, St. John's wort, herbs. There should be herbs and there should be plants. Organically grown, not from China, not from some crazy country where they're using every poison pesticide known to man, where they're also using genetically modified seeds to grow the stuff so it grows super fast with chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. They take that plant, let's say it's barley, young barley, which is loaded with chlorophyll and nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and cofactors. But if it's a genetically modified plant, if it's grown in soil that has chemicals in it, if it's sprayed with deadly poisons and pesticides, and then when it's harvested, if it's irradiated, which means radiation is actually given to it, it's killing all the enzymes, it's no good. So the majority of the product that you're getting is garbage. But let's assume that you have some good ingredients, some good food that has been dehydrated and then ground up. You now have concentrated food. Sounds good. And there are superfoods you've heard about where certain foods are nutrient dense, which means they have a huge amount of vitamins and minerals, enzymes, and other nutritional value substances in them, because food is what we live on. The machine has a tube. So the ingredients go and flow through the tube, and it's put into the capsule, and the capsules are sealed. The problem is, these are real ingredients, real food. It sticks to the tube. So in order to make it flow, so you don't have to stop the production line every hour, that costs money. That means you're not making as much profit. We need to have this production line capable of running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with no stops to keep our costs down. So they used to put talcum powder in the product because then it would make it nice and slick, until it became illegal because it causes cancer. They were really pissed off. And I remember when it happened. I know the guys in the nutritional industry, they were going, this pisses me off. Talcum powder was the cheapest crap we could buy, and it worked perfect. Now they won't let us use it. I go, yeah, but it's toxic. It's like a poison. Who cares? You know, I had a guy one time tell me these vitamins. I says, do you and your family take these? He goes, these vitamins ain't for taking, they're for selling. That's who you're buying stuff from. Stop being a fool. Stop being susceptible and brainwashable. Stop being so suggestible and controllable. You're being controlled by the media, by the advertising, by the pretty labels, by the commercials. You're being lied to. Open up your eyes. Always question. Ask a question. Wonder. Why? Who's making money on this? Critical. Very important. Keep open. Don't be just controlled by everything you see. Start being in control. Stop being at effect from your environment. Start being at cause over your environment. So they put these what's called flowing agents, and that's what magnesium stearate is, and that's what stearic acid is. They put flowing agents in, which stick to the inside of the tube and then allow the product to flow through. If it has magnesium stearate, talc, or stearic acid. That's why you don't want to have it. You don't want the flowing agents. So now, let's assume that you go to your cabinet and you find a product. It's almost impossible, but there's some companies out there. And you say, Kevin, this has an organic cellulose capsule. There's no other excipients in it. There's no waxes or glues or dyes or stearic acid. There's no magnesium stearate. It says right on the label, Kevin, no genetically modified organisms. It says no GMOs right on the label. You're in good shape, okay? And it says for the ingredients, organic broccoli, organic spinach, organic acerola cherry, organic noni. And it has organic next to it, so you know that the product comes from an organic source. It doesn't have pesticides and herbicides on it. It was organically grown, so you're looking pretty good. You don't know if they used heat or irradiation in the manufacturing. So you don't know if it was processed with low heat, which allows the enzymes to stay. You don't know that, but let's say that you think it's okay. And you think, well, I should take this every day. No. Why? Nutritional supplements. The reason it was called supplement means in addition to. Your body is designed to live on food. You eat food. You chew. And when you chew food, you're supposed to chew your food, by the way. Your mouth has teeth. Your stomach doesn't have teeth. So don't swallow your food because your stomach doesn't have any teeth. Chew your food. So when you chew your food, chew, really chew, keep chewing, chew more. The saliva and the bacteria begins to break down and mingle with the food. This is how the body is designed. Then you swallow it and it goes into the stomach. And the food, all food, has some fiber in it. And your body begins to break down the acids in your body, the hydrochloric acid and the different types of digestive enzymes that are in your stomach, begin to break down the food. Certain food is designed to break down and assimilate into your body in the stomach. Other food is designed by God, by the universe, by nature, to not fully break down in the stomach, but start to break down in the intestine. And that's when you get the nutrients released. It gets released in the intestine. The food knows when to break down, whether it breaks down in the stomach or whether it breaks down in the intestine. Because certain nutrients, if they break down in the stomach, you're not going to absorb them. They have to break down in the intestine in order for it to be absorbed. And that's why food has fiber in it or it doesn't have fiber. So think about it. This is why eating an orange is better than drinking orange juice. Because when you eat the orange, the fiber slows the assimilation down so that you're getting most of the absorption of the bioflavonoids and the vitamin C in the intestine, not the stomach. But when you drink orange juice, it assimilates and breaks down right in the stomach, and you're not getting the full value of the vitamin C. And it actually can make an upset stomach because there's too much acid there. It throws the body out of balance. It's not designed that way. Think about it. Animals in the wild don't have juice machines. Just saying. So the food has to be whole food concentrates. And if you look at your label, and if they have things like vitamin E, vitamin A, and they have what's next to it, you know that you're being scammed. What they're doing is they're taking some whole foods, putting it in so they can market it. Then they're adding synthetic chemical man-made vitamin A, synthetic chemical man-made vitamin E, etc. Synthetic niacin, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and they're adding these in. You don't want any of that. You want 100% whole food concentrates in your supplements. But you can't take it every day because the body is not designed to eat the same food every single day. You don't have the same food and meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You don't eat the same exact meal every single day, every single time, do you? You mix it up. One day you have a salad, it has some lettuce, it has some carrots, it has some cucumbers, some celery, some onions. The next day you don't have a salad, you have some spinach. The next day you have some asparagus. The next day you have some bok choy and some rice. The next day you're mixing it up. You're mixing up your protein sources. You have chicken, you have turkey, you have fish, you have beef, you have lamb, you have goat. You mix it up. You have beans and rice. You mix up your starches. You have potatoes, starchy vegetable. You have rice. Sometimes you have bread, wheat. Sometimes rye bread, why? You mix up. That's what the body is designed. And if you look at the healthiest people in the world, they eat food that is locally grown, that's in season. So the idea of suggesting that you need to consume a product like noni that doesn't grow in your region, but in order for you to be healthy, you have to have noni, is insane. That means God is an idiot and screwed everything up. How come animals live forever compared to man with no disease in the wild, and they only eat what's locally available? Think about gorillas, think about chimpanzees, primates that are closest to humans. They eat what's locally available. Think about that. You don't need food from all around the world. So you can't take a supplement every single day. The best supplement in the world is going to have only 100% organic whole food concentrates in it. No flowing agents. And it has to be different every single time you take it. So every day there should be a different combination of ingredients in different proportion to one another. This is how the body works best. Think about that. I mean, it's just like eating food. You can't find a supplement out there that's like that. So even if you found 5 or 6 or 10 different supplements that meet the parameters, you have to be an insane person like me right now and mixing them all up every day and say, okay, today I'll take 2 of these and 1 of these and 1 of those. Tomorrow I'll take none of those, but 3 of these and something else I didn't take. And it's a different mix every single day of supplements. Over a 30-day cycle, it's never the same. Never. And then it's repeated. But over a 30-day cycle, it's never the same. That's how the body, that way you're getting different nutrients in different amounts from different sources in different proportion to one another every single day. That's how you maintain vigorous dynamic health, because that's what the body is designed for. That's what it's designed for. So let me give you a couple other things that you can look for on your label to see if you can throw it away. Let's look at niacin. This is another one. It's like vitamin C and ascorbic acid. If you look on your label, years ago, there used to be niacin was put into nutritional supplements. Niacin is part of the B complex family, B vitamin complex family. But niacin, because most Americans have such a screwed up immune system and their body is all messed up, that when you take niacin, it can give you what's called a niacin flush, which means your face gets red, all your skin gets red, and it can become very tingly and very itchy and hot for about 5 minutes or so. It's called a niacin flush, and it can feel very uncomfortable. It's like, oh no, what's happening? Oh no, it's like I have this rash. Oh, what's happening? Oh, and your heart can begin to race because it's stimulating the system, and your body's not used to it. So nutritional manufacturers said, what can we do to solve this problem? We need to have a chemist come in here. Figure this out. Come up. Can you make a niacin that doesn't produce the niacin flush? And the guy says, well, it won't be niacin anymore. I don't care. We'll be able to call it niacin. We'll work with the lobbyists. We'll pay off the politicians. You just come up with a chemical that has like niacin in it or similar that doesn't give a niacin flush. And the chemists did. They came up with something called niacinamide. Niacinamide. It doesn't give you a niacin flush. It ain't niacin. That's why. It's not niacin, which is you need for your brain. The nutritional industry went and paid off everybody down in Washington. And now they can say niacin. And then he put in parentheses, as niacinamide. It's not niacin. So how are you allowed to call it niacin when it's niacinamide? It isn't niacin. So if you see a product that has niacin, in parentheses, as niacinamide, throw it away and never buy anything from that company ever again, because they're scamming you, they're lying to you, all they want to do is make a profit. I'm telling you, they're evil people. All they want to do is make money. They are greedy people that will sacrifice your health and your family's health just so they can sell a product and make a profit. It's disgusting. Just saying. Something for you to think about. Anyway, look, whether you do this or not, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I care about you, but not that much. I mean, I live my life. I know how I live. I mean, me and a bunch of guys who live this natural system, we know this, and we've been doing this for decades. It's not new. We just finished up a whole battery of tests, and I do this for research and also myself. So I virtually had every medical test known to man done on me, from head to toe vascular tests, ultrasound on the heart, CAT scan with contrast on the heart, lung CAT scan with contrast, internal organs, colon with contrast, brain MRI, 2 other type of brain scans, 200-300 different types of blood work samples, including hormone samples, hair samples, urine samples, skin samples, nail samples, all looked at. You name the test, I've probably done the test. Saliva swabs, checking out the saliva and all of the hormone balance, glucose tolerance tests, you name it. I sat down with the doctors, and I just finished up with the last one 2 days ago. And he says, you're like a superhero. He goes, I've never seen anybody, even somebody in their 20s, where every single thing is like perfect. Because the calcification in your heart is like less than 5%. It's not impossible at your age. It's just impossible. Your telomeres are like you're 30 years younger biologically than your age. There's no heavy metals. Your lung capacity is off the charts. It's like it was just going on and on and on. The cartilage, I had all my knees and all my joints checked. He goes, there's no arthritis anywhere. None. He says, your cartilage is like 80%. It's like unbelievable. He says, your tendons, ligaments, muscles, all of your organs, hormone balance, blood work, you name it. He goes, it's just off the charts. And I'm not saying this to kind of brag, but it's just not me. It's a bunch of us. I know that this works. That's why I wrote the book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. I know that this can improve the quality of your life, that can make you feel better, live longer, have better sleep, have more vitality, have more energy, have a better attitude, be happier, don't have food cravings, no gas, bloating. You can have a healthy, vigorous, vibrant body. You just need to do a few things. And in the book, Natural Cures, I talk about that when you are putting toxins in your system, this is causing major illness. And the toxins you're putting in your system are pharmaceutical drugs, both prescription drugs and over-the-counter. That's the number one toxin you're putting in your body. Next, everything you drink, all the water you bathe in and you shower in is loaded with toxins. Your skin is the largest eliminative organ in the body. So whatever you put on it is absorbed. So when you take a shower every day, without a shower filter, you are putting toxins in your body. When you drink water, you're putting toxins in your body. When you drink coffee or tea, you're putting toxins in your body. When you're drinking anything carbonated, you're putting toxins in your body. When you drink any energy drinks, you're putting toxins in your body. Then all the food that you're eating, forget the restaurant food, but even if you buy food, if it's conventional, it's loaded with toxins. You're putting toxins in your body all day long, every single day, and you're not clearing it out. You got to at least reduce the amount of toxins you're putting in your body. That's the number one cause of all illness and disease. The second cause, which used to be the number one cause, is nutritional deficiencies. you're just deficient in calcium, magnesium, minerals, certain vitamins, nutritional stuff. You're just deficient. So this is why supplement means in addition to. Nutritional supplements are something you take in addition to a good, proper, healthy diet. They don't replace it. They're only supposed to supplement some of the deficiencies that you might have in today's world. Look, we live in a real world. You're not going to grow your own food and spend all day long growing food and preparing food and pickling foods for the winter and things like that. You're just not going to do that. So, you go to restaurants. Look, we know what it is. So that's why supplementing, in addition to your diet, you do the best you can. In addition to your diet, you take some supplements. The supplements have to be whole food, in my opinion, and they have to be mixed up and different every single day, in my opinion. This way you get the food from different sources, in different proportion to one another, in different amounts, and it makes an enormous, enormous difference. Whole foods will give you the minerals you need. Now, there's something else about why you want whole foods. Science is not better than nature. Science thinks that they can do better than nature. They think they can make something better than what nature produced. This is why they have genetically modified organisms. They look at a tomato and say, nature produces this tomato. God doesn't know what he's doing. He messed up on this formula. I know, Charlie. Let me tell you what we can do. We can take a pig gene. We can put the pig gene into the seed, genetically modify that tomato seed, and the pig gene will ward off the boll weevil or this bug, and now we don't have to spray toxins on it. We'll just put we'll just take the Roundup from Monsanto, the poison toxin we used to spray on it, and we'll put it in the seed. Now it comes up from within. How good is that? And then we'll patent the seed and make a killing. That's how it works. And they screw it up every single time. It's like the island of Dr. Moreau. I mean, they're just like creating three-headed monsters. They don't even know what's happening. Science is not better than nature. Think about that. Science is not better than nature. So science tries to produce these supplements based on what they currently know. But they don't know that much. How do we know this? Once upon a time, vitamin E was sold. Scientists produced in the laboratory what they thought was vitamin E, and it was called D-alpha tocopherol. It was vitamin E. Then the geniuses, after researching nature, like walnuts that have a lot of vitamin E in it, they said, wait a minute, there's actually 4 tocopherols in vitamin E. Well, what the hell were we making? They're making a synthetic chemical that's not vitamin E. As a matter of fact, there was a study that said vitamin E does nothing to help with blood flow. Study proves. And this research study took D-alpha tocopherol, this synthetic man-made vitamin E, and they tested it against heparin, which is a pharmaceutical drug to thin the blood so you don't get blood clots. And they said the vitamin E did nothing, the heparin worked, but the vitamin E did nothing. And I remember calling and saying, how come you didn't use real vitamin E, which has mixed tocopherol? There's 4 different tocopherols which have to be in the vitamin E from nature. Why don't you get that one and test it? Well, they didn't, so I did. And when you tested it, it worked better than the heparin because the natural product that God intended for you comes out of walnuts and a whole host of other areas, like omega-3s and things, all the different omegas that come from fatty fish. This, when ingested in the proper form that nature intended, works. So the point is, what science believe is true, or what they know is a vitamin isn't. Like the ascorbic acid is not, like niacin is not vitamin C, niacinamide is not niacin, and D-alpha tocopherol is not vitamin E. It has to have all 4 tocopherols on it. Mixed tocopherols is what it's called, in order to be proper vitamin E. Here's the other thing. When you take food, let's take broccoli or carrots or any type of vegetable, right? and you give it to scientists and say, do an analysis, tell me what's in it. Oh, there's vitamin A, there's vitamin C, there's bioflavonoids, there's, calcium, magnesium, and they do this breakdown. It's a computer. The computer isn't God and not psychic. It had to be programmed. When the computer looks at the food, it tells you what's in it. And then they also say, however, 30% of this food defies analysis, which means 30% of broccoli, 30% of a carrot, 30% of spinach, 30% of barley leaf, 30% of acerola cherry, 30% of any herb, any plant, or anything, 30% of rice, 30%, they can't figure out what's in it because it's not in their database. Science hasn't discovered the nutrients that are in food that you absolutely need. They haven't discovered them yet, but you need them and they're in food, but they're not in your nutritional supplement, unless it's a whole food concentrate. And I'll give you an example. There once was a company, I mentioned it to you, Nutrilite. They had a product called Double X. It was one of the first products. Shaklee was another one. But Nutrilite, they own the farm, so they knew that what they were growing, the acerola cherry and all the different barleys and things, were organically grown and produced. They would take it, they would dehydrate it, and they would put it in this supplement called Double X. Now, it's not the best supplement in the world now. They're all about making money. But back then, it was one of the better ones available. And it had on the label vitamin E, because they did analysis of the food and said, this supplement contains vitamin E. We're not adding the vitamin E in. It's in there because it's in the food concentrates that are in the supplement. We're not adding vitamin E. Vitamin E is in the food. So they did an analysis on the food, and then they put it on the label. This food contains vitamin A, vitamin C, so forth. It has bioflavonoids. Okay. Back in the 60s, researchers said, Eureka! We just discovered a brand new mineral that we didn't know existed called selenium. And we just discovered, oh my gosh, this is amazing, that in nature, anytime there's vitamin E, bound to it is also this mineral selenium. And now we realize for the first time that if you take vitamin E without selenium, the vitamin E doesn't do anything. It has to have the selenium attached. Which means all the vitamins they were selling with vitamin E, even the mixed tocopherol ones that they thought were all natural, but they were made in a laboratory, they're all synthetic, were doing nothing. And not only doing nothing, harmful to you. Well, Nutrilite said, well, let's take a look at our product. And they did an analysis. Now that the vitamin C was in the database, now the computer could determine if selenium was there because now it was in the database. It was there all along. So when people were taking a whole food supplement, when you're taking a whole food supplement, just like when you're eating real food, you're getting all the nutrients that haven't been discovered yet, but your body still needs. And they're in the direct proportion to one another, which is another critical element. Let's say that you're making soup and you put down 10 ingredients. The ingredients you love: good, pure, gorgeous, filtered water. You got rice. You want rice in your soup. You got escarole. You don't even know what that is. It's an Italian vegetable, green leafy vegetable that we would put in there. Egg. We're going to do an egg drop kind of soup. We're going to take some chicken bones because we want to get the chicken stock in there to be pulled out of the bones. And they're from organic, free-range, real chickens, heirloom chickens that aren't mass-produced. We got carrots. We got onions. We got celery. We got some tomatoes. All organic, fantastic. You have this great ingredient list to make this great soup. But what happens if you mess up the ratio? Let's put a half a cup of water, and we'll put 45 chicken bones. We'll put one sliver of celery, Oh, we also want a bay leaf. So let's put 50 bay leaves in there. In other words, if you take these beautiful ingredients but screw up the ratio, are you going to get good tasting, delicious soup? No, it's going to be horrible. Food's the same way. Nutritional supplements are the same way. Just like a chemical reaction. If you're trying to make an explosion and you say, okay, I got 3 ingredients, and if I take these 3 ingredients in perfect proportion to one another, I create an explosion. It only creates an explosion if the ingredients are in proportion to one another. Baking is like that. Baking is chemistry. If you take ingredients to bake a cake and you put too much baking soda versus too much baking powder versus not enough sugar or whatever, it has to be exact proportions in order to create the cake. Because unlike cooking, baking is chemistry. And if you mess up the proportions, you don't get the product. Your body is chemistry. Your biology is chemistry. The nutrients have to be in proportion to one another. When you take any type of food that is good for you and you know is good for you, like an orange, it has vitamin C in it with bioflavonoids. What's the ratio? But it also has minerals in there and other vitamins. And if you break it down, what's the exact ratio? This is a complicated formula that God created, nature created. A scientist can't create it. They can't figure it out. When you take a piece of celery or a piece or tomato or a piece of spinach and you do the chemical breakdown and you look at the exact ratio from one nutrient to the other, these complicated ratios to one another, nutrients to one another, work exactly as nature intended for your health. Science can't duplicate it, which is why you always have to have a whole food supplement. So the bottom line is, you're being ripped off and you're being scammed if you're taking nutritional supplements. Now somebody says, Kevin, what do you do? Well, if I showed you right here what I do every day, you can't do it. Number one, you don't have the money, you don't have the time. It's a mathematical equation of mixing everything up so it's all different. All my supplements are 100% whole food supplements, which means they're concentrated food from organic sources. They have organic cellulose capsules and no flowing agents, no excipients, no binders, nothing. They're all in capsules. That's number one. Number two, I mix them up every single day, and they're all different. There are some minerals also, such as calcium and magnesium, and other minerals that are added because even when you're concentrating food, the amount of the mineral that's in the food today is less than it was decades ago. Dr. Emanuel Saraskin stated years ago that you'd have to eat 5 times as much food today to get the same nutritional value as your grandparents did. By the way, he said that back in the 80s. It's worse today than ever before. This is why when you take an onion, think about this for a second. When I grew up, when we took an onion into the house smelled like onion. And if we took a knife and cut the onion in half, within seconds, I would start crying. Or whoever cut it would start crying. And if they started chopping up onions and somebody walked into the house, everybody in the house would start crying because the aroma was so strong from the onions, it caused you to cry. And when you put onions in food, it had this amazingly beautiful, strong flavor of onion. Today, the onions are grown in soil that has no nutritional value. You can cut them all day long and never cry. You can put a whole handful of onions and not even taste them. You can eat an onion like an apple and not even know it's an onion. They have virtually almost no nutritional value. Same thing with garlic. I was cooking, I remember, and I was making some sauce. I'm Italian, and I took one garlic clove and I'm starting to chop it up. I throw it in there. My friend says, I thought you liked garlic. I go, yeah, one's going to be more than enough. How is that possible? I grew up with an Italian. I know how much garlic works. Well, this garlic, even though it was organic garlic, had almost no garlic flavor. I need to put like 8 or 10 in there to get some garlic flavor out of it. Why is that? Well, it's different around the world, and it has to do with hybrid growing of food, genetically modified organisms. the way that food is no longer crop rotated. In other words, they put the same crop on the same plot of land year after year, and it drains the nutrients out of the soil. There's a whole bunch of reasons. The fertilization, the chemical fertilization, so they can grow it as quickly as possible, get it to market and make money. Doesn't give it a chance to absorb nutrients. But in America, I'll tell you the reason why. Back in the 40s, we had something called the 30s. We had something called the Dust Bowl. When farmers and industry got rid of all the prairie grass in our breadbasket in the middle of our country to grow crops, they didn't realize that from time to time there's drought. When the drought came, the topsoil got very, very, very dry. It turned to dust. 12 feet of topsoil blew away. That's where all the nutrients are. That's where all the minerals are. That's what we need to live. That's what we need for health, minerals. Vitamins, but minerals. So all the nutritional value that was in our soil blew away. You look online for Dust Bowl pictures, and you see in Boston, they had inches of dust on the streets of Boston that blew across our country. We have no nutritional value in our soil anymore. We don't produce food that has flavor or taste anymore. We don't produce food that has nutrients or vitamins and minerals. That's why nutritional supplements are so critical and important to you. So consider getting nutritional supplements. And this is why we formed the company called World's Best Nutritionals and Organics, because it's not out there. So I'm bringing back the KT Daily, which is, in my opinion, the best nutritional supplement in the world because it handles everything I talked about. And this is something that's easy, convenient, and absolutely reasonable price-wise. There's just nothing else out there. And we're not interested in solely making a profit. You have to make a profit to stay in business. But these are products that I take. And as you know, I am passionate about health and nutrition. Whether you do this or not, it's up to you. I mean, there's other companies out there that sell stuff, and there's good things out there. I would encourage you to read both of these books. More Natural Cures Revealed and Natural Cures. You can get all the information. By the way, the government shut them down. They burned the books. We are trying to get the publishing rights back. These aren't even being published today. If you want to buy these, you can go to our store at the fan club, KevinTrudeauFanClub.com. We have some, but we can't even find them. We have to get them secondhand. We're still trying to get the publishing and copyrights back because the government took it away because they don't want you to have this information. So I hope to put an updated version together and get the new ones out. But these are spectacular, must read. And I'm going to put you up a link that if you click on the link, you can punch in your contact details. And when I launch our nutritional supplements, the KT Daily and so forth, you'll be the first person on the list to know about the supplements that I'm putting out. Here's what they are, and you'll be getting special prices and things because you're first in line. So if you want information on the supplements that I will be coming up with later this year or early next year, then just get on the mailing list. That way you'll be first to know. But I'll tell you this, health is wealth. And remember, it's not what you eat, but what you digest that makes you strong. Think about that. It's not what you earn, but what you save that brings you wealth. And it's not what you learn, but rather what you remember that makes you wise. Did you learn something today? I hope so. What's your next step? Look, there are companies out there that sell decent, above average, very good, and in some cases, excellent whole food nutritional supplements. I gave you what to look for. And until ours come out, you can find some companies out there, but mix them up and match. I sat down with my friend Blaine, and Blaine said, Kevin, what can I do? And I says, well, take this product, buy this, 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 this. I gave him 5 things to buy. I'm gonna make it real simple. I says, and just take, on day 1, the first one, on day 2, go to the second bottle, day 3, use the third one, day 4, and day 5, and then repeat. I go, that way you're mixing up the supplements. They're all whole food supplements. He just mixes them up. I said, that's going to be simple, real simple. I'm not giving them some extra calcium, magnesium, or some extra mixed tocopherol, unnatural vitamin E with selenium. I'm not giving them specific things, just whole food to supplement his diet. I says, but at the end of the day, you got to stop putting the toxins in, handle the nutritional deficiencies. And then there's a third element that I talk about in the book, Natural Cures, and that is cleanse the toxins out. I mentioned to you, your body is loaded with toxins, which is one of the reasons why, there's 4 reasons why you're ill and sick and not youthful and full of energy and vigor and vitality. Number 1 is toxins in your body. Number 2 is nutritional deficiencies. Number 3 is you have to get the toxins out. So you stop putting toxins in, or at least reduce, but do some cleanses to get the toxins out. And number 4 is all of the stress you're dealing with, your thoughts, electromagnetic chaos, stress, thoughts, negative thinking, fear is dramatically adversely affecting your health. So on this show, we give you things that you can utilize and use and employ to help improve the quality of your life. And I'll tell you something, this is stuff, clearly, they don't want you to know about. On our next show, I'm going to be talking more about some movies that will help you manifest goals, dreams, and desires. Coming up on some future shows here, I got the brain waves that will attract millions into your life, how to broadcast the proper brain waves. Great secret. I'm going to talk about the science of how to breathe. And if you breathe properly, you can manifest goals, dreams, and desires, reduce stress dramatically, sleep better, and lose weight, and a whole bunch more. I'm Kevin Trudeau. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and leave comments on other people's comments. That helps the algorithm. And share this with everyone you know. I'm Kevin Trudeau. Remember, God dwells within you as you. God loves you, and so do I. Much love. Bye-bye.